Hi, Rossella. Great.
Hi, Steve.
Great to see you, and it's my pleasure to welcome you on VISOR UP.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, for anyone who might not know Rossella, she's founder of MentorLab. Rossella is also the Mentoring Center for Excellence lead with EMCC Global. And we're here today to talk about mentoring and mentoring programs.
Yep.
Very good. So, as MentorLab on your website, you proudly say, "Be a gift in the lives of other people." What do you mean by that?
Well, it's my mantra.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe we have a possibility of sharing our wisdom with others. And by doing so, we become a gift in the life of others. And I say that because I had the privilege of having amazing mentors who helped me really grow professionally and personally. And when I think of them as true gift in my life.
Gifts in your life.
Yes.
Okay, that's a lovely thought. So, I think as a mentor myself, under the careful guidance of Rossella, one of the key themes that often comes up is mentoring another form of coaching? Is coaching mentoring? What's the difference between them?
As you well said, I'm leading the Mentoring Center for Excellence of EMCC Global, and I'm also the co-founder of EMCC Italy. So the definition of mentoring I advocate for is the EMCC Global definition. And for EMCC, mentoring is developmental, which means that you support an individual to grow, but also by supporting the others to grow, you grow yourself. So both parties develop themselves in the relationship. What does it mean? That in order to do that, you need to practice all coaching skills like active listening, asking powerful questions to understand what are the needs really of the other person. But at the same time, you have other tools. And in particular, there are two important behavior that someone who is a mentor need to perform in order to be a great mentor. And one is role modeling. So when you are in the relationship, you are a role model for the person, but not just because you are in a position. It's because you really live by your own values, and you model also all the competencies that the mentee is willing to develop.
Okay, so it's a sort of show rather than tell.
Exactly.
Act
You embody
as
them.
you say.
Yeah, you embody them. And at the same time, you also use your own experience. So in coaching, we refrain from sharing our experience. And instead in mentoring, this is a tool, and we need to learn how to use this tool. Because sometimes experience can be overwhelming, can be intimidating.
Indeed it can.
So when people are trained as mentors, they learn how to pass on their own experiences, their own wisdom to others. And so you see, a mentor needs to have more tools and also to use more competencies than a coach. But what really makes a difference is that there is a different dynamic happening between the two. So it's a 50-50 conversation. I call it like a dance. And the mentor needs to set their own development goals too.
Okay, interesting. So obviously as MentorLab, you put in place bespoke mentoring programs in organizations. So there's I suppose, what people might be more familiar with, which is the one-to-one mentoring, where there's a mentor and a mentee in their own, agreement. What would a mentoring program look like for an organization?
Well, it depends from what are the needs of the organization first. So when I first meet the sponsors, I explore what are the strategic goals for the year, and especially we explore how mentoring can support them.
Okay.
And so then we identify the population, so which means who could be the ideal mentors,
Okay.
who could be the ideal mentees.
Okay.
And then we decide the type of mentoring program we can
Okay.
create, and can be from the standard senior junior mentoring, can be reciprocal mentoring between peers, or it can be also reverse mentoring, or even sometimes group mentoring. So there are different type of mentoring programs.
Okay, let's maybe pause a little bit over here. So I think the typical understanding of a mentor is the wise person, no? The one with the solution in the storytelling, where you have the person who's going through their quest. There's a point where they're blocked and they find the wise person who helps them unblock the solution that they had within them all along. Is that always the case in mentoring? Is it always the more experienced, perhaps older, senior members of staff who are the mentors?
Nowadays, it's not only the most senior, which means the older person or the senior person. Sometimes it's simply someone who is, I always say, one step ahead. Which means they have already had the experience the mentee is willing to have, either because if they are in a specific role, either because, for example, take the example, someone has already managed a team. Maybe it's not senior than the other one, but simply had the opportunity of growing faster in a management position. And so sometimes now we see many young people who are already in a higher position than people that are older than them. So age is less and less relevant. What we look at is the experience they have. They need to have lived an experience.
Okay, so in reverse mentoring, would that be what I'm assuming, younger people mentoring the older cohort?
Yeah, when we look just at age, then definitely reverse mentoring is where there is someone of a younger age mentoring someone older.
Okay, and they're the mentor because they have an experience that they can share with their mentee.
Yeah, here what is more relevant is who is taking the role of mentor.
Okay.
So who is the one who is guiding the process? More than the contents, because both mentor and mentee share contents. They talk to each other. But here we look at who is in charge of managing the process of mentoring. And in that case, it can be the younger one or the senior ones. It depends. Or in peer-to-peer, so reciprocal mentoring, they can exchange the role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what have you found organizations that put in place such a mentoring program? What are the benefits that they enjoy?
Yeah, probably the senior junior standard mentoring program is the one that is still widely used, especially to develop talents. So what we see is that there is a lot of interest from the young generation to be supported, and so this has become a tool to retain the young generation, sometimes even to attract the young generation, and especially those who have a potential. And so most of the mentoring programs that we are running in organizations are targeting talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So potential high performers.
High performance.
And help support them possibly before they reach a leadership role.
Yeah.
So they can already have the skills to lead people.
Absolutely. And what I normally suggest to organization is not to propose mentoring to those who are just arrived in the organization,
Okay.
but those who have already stayed in the organization from 1 to 2 years, and they are in that moment where they're still, they are maybe deciding whether to stay or whether
if
to
it's
go.
time to leave.
So it's
Okay.
a very sensitive moment where the support of a mentor can help them decide.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of benefits, obviously you're seeing the experience that the mentors pass on to the mentees is internal. So the mentors are also within the organization. So they are passing on things that, let's say, an external coach simply cannot, because they have not lived that experience in the organization. Is that correct to say?
Yeah, definitely. Internal mentoring program aim to pass values and knowledge among people, and it is particularly important now because in this period of change, some companies sometimes are forced to leave some people, and so through mentoring programs they help senior people to upskill and reskill during the mentoring training.
Okay.
And thanks to the relationship also of the mentees, they get new skills, new knowledge.
All right.
So this is key. And so this is more when you want to also keep the knowledge internally and also share values. When there are also other possibilities, especially with smaller companies or companies that are expanding and or are willing to enter new markets, then they might not have the mentors they need inside. So it's important to have, for example, external mentors. In that case, external mentors are different than external coaches.
Okay.
So are normally trained mentors, so certified mentors who follow our programs, and they come for a short amount of time, but normally is longer than a coaching engagement, so it can last up to 9 months or 1 year. And they have an expertise and they have developed in a different context, the context that the internal mentees need to explore, and then so they are accompanied in that process.
Okay. Okay. So the organizations that go for a mentoring program could be in different situations, meaning there could be a successful organization that maybe have an executive team that might be approaching retirement, for example. So there's a need, or if they all retire, then all that knowledge and the experience they've built will be lost. So mentoring can help keep that within the organization, but also mentoring could help organizations that are facing difficult situations. So I know you've had some cases where, for instance, 2 companies merged, and so you have 2 vastly different cultures coming together, and suddenly it's, hi Rossella, hi Steve, you're co-managing a department, good luck, and off they go. And they might come from different cultures, very different cultures, not only external, but also in the way that they run the organization. So one might enjoy a very high level of trust and the other one might not. So how would you implement something around there?
These are the most exciting programs, because you see, especially from a trainer perspective, because when I mentor the mentors, I obviously benefit myself of that cultural difference, and sometimes really the approach they have to work that they need to. So these programs, I have addressed them, for example, with peer reciprocal mentoring. There is maybe a different of age too, but this is not relevant. It's more people that have a similar experience but in different context.
Okay.
So the system here, and to understand the system is key. So we
Okay.
look at the system and how it is,
Okay.
and then we understand how to match the people.
Okay.
Yeah, see. So when we do that, then we look at to have something that they might share in common, and then we look at what they're really different.
Okay.
Might be someone who has been simply in a specialist position, being matched to someone who is a management position, or
Okay.
someone who has always lived and worked in the same place, and someone who has a different background, had several experiences, different companies.
Lots of different change.
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely there is a difference. That is not just cultural,
Okay.
different experience. So they can support each other.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just the language,
Okay.
simply the language. So it's also supporting people to enforce themselves to overcome the barrier of the language.
Okay.
And for example, do the entire mentoring program, for example, in English or another language.
Okay.
And they by the end of the program, they speak fluently thanks to the relationship.
Okay. So that would be a case of helping the different sides to mesh more fluidly.
Yeah.
And really get the benefit on the human side of the merger.
Yeah.
So normally the merger is done for possibly financial purposes or more strategic, and this would be about getting the humans to mesh more comfortably and effectively reach the satisfaction and productivity.
Yeah. During the program, they get to know each other at a deeper level. Okay. So what they say, for example, is they immediately start exchanging information about themselves, their personal life. They would have not done it in a normal meeting, for example.
Okay.
So by getting to know each other better, obviously they overcome any cultural barrier. Yeah. They know how to support each other better.
Okay.
They get to know the different contexts better, so they are facilitating in the integration.
Okay. Okay, very good. And of course, for what would the sort of process look like quickly from start to end? And in terms of if an organization approach MentorLab for looking to have a program put in place. So you've already said you would discuss with them to understand what they're looking for, but then in terms of, do you help them to implement? Are they left to their own devices? Is there support? And I don't know if this is where the your M-cubed model comes in that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, well, I say what generally the most of the programs will take at least 1 year. So it means by the time we are first contacted by the organization, we start analyzing the needs of the organization. Then we clearly define how the program will be developed. Obviously, we work in partnership. We act more there like consultants. And then once we have developed the program, it takes around from 1 to 2 months. Okay. Then we start promoting the program. So I normally do a kickoff event because the idea is to promote the program as a reward, which means that not everyone can access to it. There is a certifications for mentors that sometimes is not for everybody. So even for a program that has more than 100 for example, mentors, only like 10 can be part of the certification, for example. So we make it very exclusive to those who really, really are ready to invest on their own training, because the training is key.
Okay, so for the first part, you're actually training staff to become mentors themselves, and this is they're certified.
First we select, so we have questionnaire that we propose. They are obviously customized around the need of our client, and then we use those questionnaire to see who are the people that are really passionate about mentoring, the ones who have an attitude already, who hold already some competencies, but they also have that willingness to invest in their own development and commit. So then, obviously, normally we are so successful, we always get 2 times or 3 times the number that are,
that you're able to.
Yeah, they were able to, but it's okay because then we create a waiting list for the next program.
For the next cohort.
But this is for our success. Because they see a structure. So even in company where they had already some informal mentoring programs, what we notice is that then when we explain how the program will be done, there is a structure, there is training, there will be support all along the way, materials, guidelines, supervision, they will be really, really taken by hand all along the process. Then people feel confident and they apply. So this is so rewarding. And so we start by selecting the people, then we see how to match them. We use algorithm, we use best practices. We collaborate obviously with the HR in order to understand what is the best matching possible. A matching that can allow both parties to grow, as I was saying. And then we go into the training of both mentors and mentees.
So the mentees are trained as well?
Oh yes, because they need to be ready and play an active role in the relationship. In some cases, there are some companies that, open to training to some mentors, and some mentors feel that they already know what to do. This is very common, especially in senior leadership positions. Normally we wait for them the next year, because when they hear what the others have learned during the training, then the year after they say, I want to be part of
I'd like
that.
to join in.
And it's perfect. So in that case, we train mentees in order to prepare them for the engagement, because the time of mentors is so precious. And so, defining their own goals clearly, making them smarter, making them growth goals, preparing themselves, also in the relationship, knowing what is expecting from them all along the process is key. So what we do is to train them and prepare them. So when they meet a mentor, they can already start and move on. And then after we meet the mentors, sometimes also the mentees, separately to address any dilemmas, any challenge, or simply to share best practices, keeping confidentiality, obviously, of what has been shared, but it's more about themselves, their well-being. If there are some ethical dilemmas on the surface, we address them. And then, obviously, we close with a beautiful event where, everyone celebrates, and then this opens the new wave.
Nice.
For the
and
it takes around 9 months.
9 months. I think
program.
for any organization that might be considering such a program, what are the minimum criteria? What's the minimum number of people that you would run it for?
The minimum, we can go to a pilot program, which is around 10 people. Some companies want to start with a pilot one, just to
so it would be
sure.
5 mentors, 5 mentees, for example?
No, it's 10, 10 and 10. 10 couples. This is normally when the company wants to involve directly the leadership team. So they want to test how it is. So then when the leadership buy it and they feel and they see that there is really a great advantage, then they promote it to the others. And so to the leaders, a leader, and then continuing and expand, and the number increase the year after. So we go from then to whatever the company decides. So we are able to manage big numbers. Okay,
very good. And you've been doing this for quite a while now.
Yes.
Any stories that come to mind from the past?
Well, probably what I learned is something, and I didn't give you an answer about the M-Cube model.
Yes,
so,
we'll get to the M-Cube.
Yeah. So I decided to put everything in writing on what I learned in a book, and that's where I also share my secret MQ model. And the MQ model is about understanding which are I call them techniques that a mentor needs to know and use in order to be successful in the relationship, and especially how you partner differently with a mentee. Another thing is that how you model what is needed for the mentee, and then the other one is how you use storytelling wisely, and then also how you use networking very strategically. So these are the 4 areas where we do a lot of labs, so people can really experiment that. Probably one of the most interesting things that I discover is that people don't see themselves as heroes.
Okay.
So when I explain how storytelling is I challenge mentors to see themselves as heroes when they share their own stories. And most of them, even if they're very successful, they say, I don't feel I'm a hero, I just did my work.
Yeah.
But what I mean by that is also to share deeply, when you share the story, the emotion, whatever they are, when you share a personal stories, you live at work, and these change completely the dynamics.
And I think that's so important. If you take, for example, a person's first leadership role, they often go from being good at something technical, so it might be administrative or sales, but they're good at doing what they do. And then suddenly they're promoted to run a team of 5 or 10 people like them, who they were, yesterday. And it's very overwhelming, that period. You go from feeling you're an expert at things to what happens next. People are asking questions on the team, superiors have expectations. And I think just that having someone validate that, yes, it is very overwhelming, it is very scary, but you get through it. I think that's the support that goes a long way to help support these people in that very delicate phase in their career.
And it is. And you wrote very insightful articles about that delicate moment. Yeah. And what I see happening, and it really reflects what I also experience as a manager, is that you are in the position and there are expectations. Sometimes there is a difficulty in deciding how you want to be. There are definitely people that can inspire your behaviors, but are also many that you don't want to become like that. That's what I normally I don't want to become like my manager or my boss, whatever. And so finding the right balance is key. But what I see is also that the senior people become also in a management position, the less time they spend for reflecting on what allowed them to be where they are. What is that they actually do? How they serve, what happens in each and every conversation or meeting, and what is really the key secret sauce, that allow them to be there. And so thanks, to the mentoring relationship and the work they need to do is a lot about reflecting on what allowed them to be there. They actually rediscover a lot about themselves. And that's what normally mentors say at the end. They say, wow, by sharing my stories and collecting the feedback from the mentees, I gave myself the possibility to see myself differently. And sometimes it's also healing. And especially at a certain age, when you look back and you see, sometimes we also our worst critics.
Yes.
Say why if I've done that, or if I would have done
Yes.
that, and then through the mentees and the lenses of the mentee, some people see how maybe it had just to be like that, and the
Yes.
fact that now you can tell a story that can inspire someone, and maybe they can do differently, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's certainly something true for me. I lead people very differently now than I did when I was 25 years old.
Yeah.
Obviously, you learn things. Very good. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up. Obviously, I could keep talking about mentoring for a lot longer,
Me
and
too.
it's always a pleasure being with you.
Yeah. Well, probably, I'm really advocating for proper and accredited mentoring training, and I say that because by doing the training, mentors and mentees really learn in some key skills they need to become great leaders, or to be even better leaders. So I know that it's strange, but being a master coach myself, I see that many people find that, I need to train on coaching skills, but then mentoring seems like something that comes natural, and it is true. We are human beings, and we are naturally willing to help others, and it comes natural. But as I always say with the gift, we started with a gift. Sometimes even the most beautiful gift may be not the gift you really need, and we know that. So
very true.
Yeah, so learning to understand, how can I really be a gift to this person? What does this person really need? It can help you select what to give, and maybe something you don't need to give is not the right moment. Maybe, or maybe it's not needed at all. And so training allows you to understand which part of you and how much of you can give to the other. So what you give to the other is exactly the gift they need.
That they need.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yes.
Very good. If there's anyone who's thinking about mentoring, either training as a mentor themselves individually, or a company who's looking at, or an organization looking at setting something in place, what would you suggest as a first step for them? What's the very first tiny step that they would need to take?
Yeah, well, definitely contact me directly. I like to meet organization in person. I'm really one of those founders who love to meet the people.
Okay.
And also it's great to have conversation. Yeah. But then definitely we also started proposing mentor certifications outside companies for managers who are willing to train themselves. Maybe sometimes the organization is not open, or simply they have not the budget to train mentors. But I have many managers that come to see me and say, well, how can I be trained, because I want to be the best mentor I can to my people. They might even come to experiences of mentoring that were disappointing, so they say, I'm sure I can do it better. I can be it properly, And for example, I remember it was this case, your case. Yeah. So for example, definitely for organization, it can reach me out. But if you want to know how what happens during training, they might reach you, isn't it? So reach Stephen.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very good. Rossella, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Steve.